بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا أما بعد. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. Question number 19 says Babu says here باب قبول الصدقة من الكسب الطيب وتربيتها. Says here قبول. Is that valid in Arabic? Is that the plural of something? Or is that the masdar? Or is it supposed to be a قبول with a fatha? باب قبول الصدقة من الكسب الطيب وتربيتها. It says the acceptance of the charity is only from the good, honestly earned money, and then Allah enlarges it. حديث أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه قال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم من تصدق بعدل تمرة من كسب طيب ولا يصعد إلى الله إلا الطيب فإن الله يتقبلها بيمينه ثم يربيها لصاحبها كما يربي أحدكم فلوه أو فلوه حتى تكون مثل الجبل. Hadith 595 is narrated by Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu. Allah's Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, if somebody gives in charity something equal to a date from his honestly earned money, for nothing ascends to Allah except good, then Allah will take it in His right hand and bring it up for its owner as any one of you brings up a baby horse till it becomes like a mountain. This chapter heading is meant to encourage you and to inspire you to give sadaqah. It's meant to encourage you and to inspire you to give charity. And that's based off of the hope that you have that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will accept your charity. And the Prophet ﷺ tells us, he informs us that Allah will accept it. So we have good thoughts of Allah. We know things about Allah based off what Allah has told us and what Allah has described Himself as being and what Allah has negated and rejected for Him to be, of oppressing and wronging His servants and treating them unfairly. And that Allah loves to be worshipped, loves to be called upon. And Allah loves those who give, those who spend, those who sacrifice, those who are patient. So Allah has described Himself to us in the Quran. He has told us what He is and what He is not. And the Prophet ﷺ has described Allah to us in so many authentic hadiths, affirming what Allah is, and also telling us the things that Allah is not, okay, of deficiency and of lacking things and being unaware of things and wronging people and so on and so forth, okay? So therefore we have knowledge of Allah which is definite. As far as my specific sadaqah being accepted by Allah, then that is something I have good hope and good thoughts of Allah for. So we know as a fact that Allah accepts. Naam? In several verses in the Quran, Allah mentions this. Yaqbalu, qabilu. Allah accepts. Okay? Fataqabbal. Allah accepts these things. Everyone understand this? There's no question about that. That's in general. But do I know for sure? And can I say it and can I feel that Allah has accepted from me? That is saying something about Allah that needs specific proof for. So therefore we know that Allah accepts charity. And we hope that Allah will accept our specific what? Charity. Everyone understand the difference here? Knowledge versus hope. Hope versus knowledge. They work together, but they aren't necessarily the what? The same thing. We don't hope that Allah accepts in general. We know this. That's our aqidah, what we believe about Allah, based off of Quran and Sunnah. Allah accepting from me specifically, that's something that I what? I hope for. I understand the difference. I what? I hope for. We don't say, we don't believe, we hope that Allah is one who accepts from His servants. We hope that Allah is kind. We hope that Allah is merciful. We hope that Allah is beneficent. We don't hope those things. We what? We know those things. And we believe in those things firm-heartedly. And we only know this and believe in them based off of the Kitab and Sunnah. Allah accepting from me specifically is something that I what? Hope for. You understand this? So that's what's meant by here, by this chapter heading. It's from the virtues of giving sadaqah, and from the things which allow us to be motivated to give sadaqah is the reality that Allah accepts, and the hope that we have that Allah will accept from us. And not only does Allah accept the charity and take the charity from the servant, but Allah Azza wa Jal, as it says here, He enlarges it. He allows the charity to grow, to mature, to develop. In other words, you give $1 that's based off of sincere intention, that's based off of a love for Allah and sacrifice for Allah, and that dollar, Allah knows best how large that dollar can become and what it can turn into. Everyone understand this? So this goes to show you the beauty of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Accepting from the servant and giving the servant more. And when a servant does an act of sin and mutiny against Allah, Allah only gives him one sin. One sin, not 2 sins. Ashru amthali had 10 like it. No. 700 sins. No. That's only for the hasanat. So no one can be destroyed with Allah except for someone who just wants to be destroyed. There's no way you can lose as a believer, as a Muslim. So that's what's meant by this chapter heading. Then we have the hadith of Abu Hurairah in Sahih Bukhari and Sahih Muslim, of course, and which says, "Man tasaddaqa bi'adli tamratin min kasbin tayyibin." It says, "Alaykum salam wa rahmatullah." Anyone who gives the sadaqah equal to a date, the biggest that a date could be is how big? The largest date you've ever seen. Seen some large dates in Saudi Arabia before. Big, they're like peppers almost, red. Very hard and crunchy type dates. Something that you probably wouldn't eat. It's a tamar. Let alone the small, tiny dates that you're used to eating, or the majhul dates, majhul, whatever you want to call it, that the people have in America for Ramadan. It's not but so big. So whoever gives the amount of sadaqah, like a date, min kasbin tayyibin, from the money that you got from good earnings, clean earnings, lawful earnings, halal rizq, not the flesh of swine, not riba, not khamr, not fahisha, not killing and murdering people, or whatever else that the people do to make money, which is khabith, and which is suht. As Allah mentions in the Quran, akaluna lis-suht. Okay? Gambling, drinking, alcohol, whatever is suht. It's illicit. It's dirty money. It's not clean wealth. So whoever gives charity, and that charity may be as minute as a date, whether it's a golden nugget, the weight of silver, money, corn, grain, whatever it may be. It's the size of a date, and it's from a pure source, a clean source. فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ يَتَقَبَّلُهَا بِيَمِينِهِ. Then Allah Azza wa Jal will accept it from him with his right hand. He'll take it from him, from this servant, with Allah's right hand. So Allah accepting it, and accepting it with the right hand of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's a tremendous motivation to give sadaqah. To give what? To give sadaqah. Then the hadith says, ثُمَّ يُرَبِّيهَا لِصَاحِبِهَا. And then Allah will allow the wealth to grow. Tarbiyah. The wealth will be cultivated. لِصَاحِبِهَا. For the one who donated it. For the one who gave it. How is this cultivated? What's the nature or the manner of this cultivation for something being so small and becoming so large and so big and so formidable? Like you to have a baby horse and to feed the horse, nurture the horse, look after the horse, and it becomes a what? A fine adult horse. Something that each and every one of you can what? Understand. Having a kitten, right? Small little kitten, meowing, scratching you, and all right, and then the cat, it grows what? To a great cat. Everyone understand this? A lion cub, and grows into what? A huge, strong, powerful lion. Everyone can what? Think about this. Oh, baby, your mother. How big you are now to your mother? Your mother's at your shoulder or your chest, but you used to be what? Way high. And your mother raised you. She fed you, stuffed you, made you grow big and strong. And now you're what? A grown man. You think about that now. Think about that now. Your mother nurtured you, right? And if she didn't nurture you, you would have. Everyone understand this? So this is what the Prophet is telling us. So there's a tremendous hadith with regards to giving sadaqah and spending in the cause of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As far as some of the fawaid of this hadith, then first and foremost, this hadith proves and shows is that it's not always about quantity. It's not always about size or number or stature or volume. Something small, which is quality, meaning pure intention. Ikhlas. True intention. Only for Allah and from the halal rizq, which oftentimes, not all of the times, but oftentimes is hard to come by. If you're not making haram wealth, there are people who are wealthy, alhamdulillah. And there are people who are living comfortably, alhamdulillah, and they make good wealth. It's halal wealth. But it's not like those who live like that off of haram wealth. We can agree on this? That's why they say behind every fortune is a what? There's a crime. Behind every great fortune is a what? There's a crime. There's someone who's wronged or oppressed or trodden upon or moved out the way to get that money. Everyone understand this? That's the nature of life. Okay? So the concept of the people of wealth, and the wealth is lawful and honest, they are definitely the minority. You can agree to that? They're definitely going to be the minority. And there are Muslims and non-Muslims who don't cheat people and they make good wealth. Okay? But they're definitely, in light of those who do it, they're the what? They're the vast minority. You don't become a millionaire by being honest, they say, right? That's what they say. Can't become a millionaire by being what? By being honest. Everyone understand this? A great athlete. He was asked about another great athlete and a scandal about cheating in a game. And he didn't answer the question directly. He was diplomatic. He smiled, he smirked, and he said, well, if you're not cheating, you're not trying. That's what he said. If you're not cheating, what? You're not trying. That's what he said. I won't mention the names. They asked him about this famous quarterback and his scandal. Do you believe that he did it? Do you think that he actually was deflating the ball and so on and so forth? Is that why they won so many Super Bowls? He never said yes or no. He said what? If you ain't cheating, what? You ain't trying. So the point I'm trying to get to is a person being successful, it can be done, I believe, with honesty and purity. But there are certain levels in which it just doesn't happen unless in most cases you what? Something. Everyone understand this? So the concept of making lawful wealth and giving it in the cause of Allah with the proper intention, the pure niyyah, that in itself is the quality versus the quantity. And of course, if you give more in sadaqah, then alhamdulillah. The next faida we take from this hadith is the virtue of working, the virtue of having a job in Islam, the virtue of having a hustle in Islam, and the dispraise of being a bum, quote unquote. Not having no means of livelihood whatsoever, no way of making money, and you're just relying on other people, begging other people, a nuisance to other people. That's not how things should be. The hadith says, min kasbin, that you actually worked for it. You did something for it. Whatever that hustle may be. Whatever it is. And whatever your job may be. Everyone understand this? Is that you bring something to the table and don't just take away from the table. Everyone understand? May Allah protect us from being like this. We always ask Allah to keep us of those who bring things and add things. Whatever you bring and add. Everyone understand this? But we know there are certain people that don't bring or add anything. And they just take away. And that's not the character of a what? Of a Muslim. It's not the character of a Muslim. So therefore, in Islam, you have to work on one level or scale or another. Whether you have an actual job, whether you have, like I said, a hustle, whether you are a son, a father, a mother, a wife, whatever you do, you have to provide some type of kasb. There's some type of earning that you have to bring to the table. And that's a virtue in Islam. The next hadith next faida from this hadith is the affirmation of Allah's attributes. Fihi ithbatu sifat. The affirmation of Allah's attributes. And from these attributes is the attribute of sifatul yad wa sifatul yamin. The attribute of Allah's hand and the attribute of the right hand of Allah Azza wa Jal. Yamin al-Rahman. We affirm this to Allah Azza wa Jal. Then the Prophet ﷺ, He says, ثُمَّ يُرَبِّيهَا. This act, يُرَبِّيهَا, and يَتَقَبَّلُهَا, accepting and enlarging or cultivating, is إثبات الأفعال, affirming the actions of Allah as well. And it will become large and great, like the manner of a baby horse to an adult horse. This is not imitating or making any resemblance between Allah and His created beings. Abadan, hasha wa kalla. But it is the Prophet ﷺ telling us about the concept. Like he tells us about seeing Allah on the Day of Judgment. إِنَّكُمْ سَتَرَوْنَ رَبَّكُمْ كَمَا تَرَوْنَ الْقَمَرَ لَيْلَةَ الْبَدْرِ. He says, you will see Allah like you see the moon when it's full in the sky. Is there a comparison between Allah and the moon? Allah in the sky? No. The Prophet ﷺ in this authentic hadith is telling us the nature of looking without difficulty, seeing without difficulty. Regardless of the crowd and the pushing and the shoving, everyone can enjoy the moon when it's full. A clear night, when you're a little kid, you say that the moon is what? It's following you. Even in Arabic they say this. مَا زِلْنَا وَالْقَمَرُ مَعَنَا. We're walking, we're traveling, and the moon is with us. So everyone around, wherever you go, can see the moon. No one has to fight and push to see the moon. And that's what the Prophet is saying. That's how you're going to see Allah. All right? Unfortunately, there are many people who have the ignorance, and they think that if you use an example or similitude like this, then you're striking a comparison. And that's incorrect. Everyone understand this? And if it was kufr and unbefitting and all of the things you're saying is, why would the Prophet what? Say it. So it shows you what you think about the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. All right? Khairan inshallah. This hadith also goes to show us, and Allah knows best, the permissibility of obtaining horses and raising horses, and the tremendous bounty of Allah. The tremendous bounty of Allah. You give something so small, but it can become so large and so great, if we only but knew. An-Nawawi rahimahullah ta'ala, he goes on to explain here the concept of sifatul yameen, the right hand of Allah. And he quotes those who came before him, who have distorted its meaning and perverted its meaning and negated and diffused its meaning to mean something that the Prophet did not say. Okay? And this is an example, among other examples, of the mistakes in the Sharh of Sahih Muslim. Examples of some of the Aqidah mistakes in the Sharh of Sahih Muslim. As the scholars of Islam have pointed out. That's a khata. That's not the proper way. Okay? Distorting the attributes of Allah subhanahu wa azza wa jal. Allah accepting, Allah loving, Allah being, or they don't even say that, Allah rida, being pleased. Okay? Qabul, acceptance. There's no doubt about that. No one differs about it. Allah will take it with His right hand. He's going to be pleased with the one who gives sadaqah. He's going to accept it from the one who gives the sadaqah. Ithab, thawab, reward. But the lazim and these things are not what the attribute means. And the Prophet did not say that. He said, biyaminihi. The Quran is full of ayat to talk about Allah Azza wa Jalla's attributes. Everyone understand this? Let alone the fact that human beings are pleased as well. Radiyallahu anhum wa radwan. Araditum. Are you pleased with the worldly life? Allah says. So therefore, what's the difference between Allah's good pleasure and the human's good pleasure? So you run from affirming an attribute and using another act as its meaning. Okay, but rida is also affirmed to the what? So where are you going now? Allah, you can't say Allah has a hand because humans have hands and humans are similar. Wal ajsamu mutamathila. They're all same. They're all similar. And Allah says, "Laysa kamithlihi shay." So therefore, it can't really literally mean the hand of Allah, right? Allah can't have a body. Allah can't be in a place because these things are similar to the what? Humans. So what does it mean? Verse after verse, the hand of Allah. Lima khalaqtu biyadayya. What I created with my two hands. Yadullahi fawqa aydihim. What does it mean? What is it? What are these hadiths? What do these ayats mean? They say it means rida. Allah is pleased with the one who does this good deed. And Allah will accept it from them, etc. Okay, no problem. What does Allah say about pleasure in the Quran? Are human beings or do not have pleasure? How many verses Allah talks about that? The worldly life. The Sahaba will be pleased with Allah in the hereafter. So therefore, what's the difference now? Similarity, right? So therefore the concept and the aqidah and the madhab of ta'wil, whether someone's Ash'ari or Maturidi or any other sect or group, is false. Textually false, and it doesn't make sense. Because the person is running from one thing and they turn right back around what? And run into another thing. And it's hypocritical and it's contradictory. And the only way which is correct is the organic way of Ahlul Hadith. Everyone understand this? لَيْسَ كَمِثْلِهِ شَيْءٍ وَهُوَ السَّمِيعُ الْبَصِيرُ. Nothing is like Allah. There's no doubt about that. And at the same time, Allah has affirmed that He sees, that He hears. Allah has affirmed that He loves. Allah has affirmed His yad, His istiwa, His nuzul, etc. So again, just pick and choose what you want. We're not here to explain this right here, right now. We've explained that in many, many other classes and lectures. We only mention this and a mistake, yani tanbihan, as a notice and a manner. Moving forward, it then says, باب الحث على الصدقة ولو بشق تمرة أو كلمة طيبة وأنها حجاب. حديث عدي بن حاتم رضي الله عنه قال سمعت رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يقول اتقوا النار ولو بشق تمرة. The next chapter says, chapter 20, exhortation to give alms, even by giving half a date fruit in charity, or by a good word, as it is a screen for one from the fire. Similar to the previous chapter, it is another encouragement to give sadaqah. Another encouragement to do what? To give sadaqah. An encouragement to give. And no matter how little you have such a little bit of wealth, a little bit of money, it's no excuse to give some type of sadaqah. And if you can't give something material, then give a good word. You look nice, mashallah. May Allah bless you. You did very well, mashallah. Hope you have a good day, a good night. Make dua for someone. Be nice to someone. Who can't do that? Who can't afford that? Some of us, unfortunately, we're so wretched. We can't give sadaqah in money, material, monetary forms. No, can we say something nice to somebody? We have to be nasty to somebody. To our wives, to our husbands, to our children, to our neighbors, to our students, to our teachers, to the people that we're around. That's unfortunately, when there's people just nasty to others all of the time. And then some of us, we find problems with everywhere or everyone wherever we go. Something's wrong now. And would you have the same fight and argument with 10 different brothers? It's not wrong with the 10 brothers now. There's something wrong what? With you. You have the same major problem now. You keep getting remarried and remarried and remarried. And the same problem keeps popping up. It's not the women, but it's you, akhi, as a husband. Or you, sister, as a wife. Okay? Or a teacher. I dropped out of this person's class and I get another person's class. Or I don't like the way he teaches. Or such and such. And such and such. You have to be mindful of always being at war with people. It's a reflection of you. And there's some of us we just don't know what to say. We can't say a nice word to someone. We can't say thank you. We can't say please. We can't say barakallahu feek. We can't say that. It's a problem. And the Prophet ﷺ, he warns us against this. Protect yourselves from the fire of hell, even if it's with half of a date. And if you don't have that amount, that trifle to give in Allah's cause, kalima tayyibah. Saying a good word to a Muslim or non-Muslim. Tayyib. It's narrated by Adi ibn Hatim. Allah be well pleased with him. I heard the Messenger of Allah ﷺ saying, "Ittaqu nara walau bishiqqi tamra." Save yourself from hell, even by giving half of a date. The next narration, it says, "Hadith Adi ibn Hatim radiyallahu anhu قال قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم ما منكم من أحد إلا وسيكلمه الله يوم القيامة ليس بين الله وبينه ترجمان ثم ينظر فلا يرى شيئا أو قدمه ثم ينظر بين يديه فيستقبله النار فمن استطاع منكم أن يتقي النار ولو بشق تمرة." Hadith 597 is narrated by Adi ibn Hatim as well. The Prophet ﷺ said, "There will be none among you, but will be talked to by Allah on the day of resurrection, without there being any interpreter between him and Allah. He will look and see nothing ahead of him, then he will look in front of him, and the fire will confront him. So whoever among you can save himself from the fire should do so, even with one half of a date." With one half of a date. Tayyib. And this hadith also affirms the attributes of Allah once more. And that Allah speaks. And that speech is real. It is not fake. It's not figurative. It's not metaphorical. It's literal. And Allah will speak to His servants. And we believe in that and we affirm that as Muslims. وعنه أيضا قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم اتقوا النار ثم أعرض وأشاح ثم قال اتقوا النار ثم أعرض وأشاح ثلاثا حتى ظننا أنه ينظر إليها ثم قال اتقوا النار ولو بشق تمرة فمن لم يجد فبكلمة طيبة. It says 597b. There's A and B narrations. هكذا. The Prophet ﷺ said, protect yourselves from the fire. He then turned his face aside and said again, protect yourself from the fire. And then turned his face aside, and he said for the third time till we thought he was looking at it. He then said, protect yourselves from the fire, even with 1/2 of a date. And he wasn't even got this, or got even this, should do so by saying a pleasant word. Should do so by saying a pleasant word. And Allah Azza wa Jalla surely knows best. Inshallah, we'll stop here. Take a few questions. Bi-idhnillahi ta'ala. Wallahu a'lam.